Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be my project pan tips and how I keep my project pans and my shop my stash organized. A few people have asked me about this, how I balance my project pans and shopping my stash and all of that. So I thought I would do this get ready with me style. I'm going to use mostly project pan and shop my stash items, except for I did buy a new palette last month and it just came in. It is the Poison Apple palette from Unearthly Cosmetics, formerly called Alien Cosmetics. This is one of their older palettes. So here's the color story. I actually have not used this yet, so it's kind of a first impression, but I'm mostly going to be talking through this get ready with me. Other products will be listed in the description box. And if you want to see my actual project pans and shop my stash videos, those I have separate playlists, and I did recently update a few project pans in the last few weeks. So yeah, let's get started. This color story is really beautiful, so I'm excited to use the palette. I think I'm going to start with the matte yellow. And I'm already wearing the MAC Painterly Paint Pot as my eye primer as usual. So yeah, a few people have asked me to talk about how I keep everything organized. And there are three main ways that I do that. First up, I have a little notebook where in that notebook on each page I have, like for a project pan that I'm doing, for example, graveyard project pan, I'll just label it that and then I'll write the products down that I'm putting in that project, and then as I finish something I will cross it off. And if it's a rolling style project like the deck of panning, then I'll add new products as I roll them in. Pretty easy, it's just a little notebook. And then also in that same notebook, if there's things like lip liners or stick products that I am keeping progress lines on, then I will put that in that same notebook. So pretty straightforward is that. Number two, the thing that I do is how I organize my makeup on my vanity. Now, I do have a pretty decent sized vanity. I have the IKEA 5 drawers and that tabletop thing. And so over here, I'll show you a picture that you see me often reaching into this drawer. Here is like my everyday stuff, and that's where a lot of project pan items that I'm trying to finish go. So for example, the concealers I'm trying to pan, the powders that I'm trying to pan, the highlighters, the stuff in my Finish 10 project, and then foundations I keep standing up over there. So the stuff that I'm working on, I think the crucial part for me is to have it like right there, easily and accessible, so that I know, hey, this isn't a project pan. I am trying to finish this. It needs to be here, easy to use when I'm getting ready in the morning. And that has really helped me a lot. And then the third thing is my spreadsheet that I keep on my computer. I've got like whatever it's called, Google Excel spreadsheets. And that's where I keep my makeup inventory. So when I finish something, I take it out of my inventory. If I buy something new, I will add it into my inventory. I also write down my empties as they happen. And I also write down my purchases as I buy something. And I write the amount that I spent on the item, and then for stuff that I finished, I write down the value and I keep track of it by month. And then also the stuff that I have usage goals on, like project 10 uses, 100 uses, I have all that written down there. It's pretty simple and straightforward. For my inventory, I don't keep track of like every single thing that I own. I just have like 5 foundations, 6 concealers, whatever. I just recently did a makeup inventory video, so if you actually want to see all that, check that out. I'll link it in the cards. So that really helps me a lot. And then I have like some color coding and stuff in there. I find that to be very helpful, and I really like keeping track of this. I do it in a super simplistic way, and I know there's tons of like phone apps and all that stuff that people use. There's a lot of options, but This is just what works for me. I don't like to have a bunch of apps on my phone. It kind of annoys me, honestly. I like to have my phone be kind of more on the simple side. I feel like I have enough on my phone with like Instagram and all this kind of stuff. So personally, I don't like to have a ton of apps on my phone. So that's why I do it this way. And the other thing to think about is also what you're putting in the projects. So because things are easily accessible to me right here, I can see like, oh, I have 2 concealers in project pans right now because they're right here. I can see all the lip products that are in project pans. So when I'm pulling a new item into a project, I can see like, oh, I'm already working on 2 lip glosses. Maybe I shouldn't put in a new lip gloss. That sort of thing, that really, really helps me as well. And then the Shop My Stash stuff, I have a drawer to this side where I have this basket, and this is where I'll put in just some other stuff that I want to use. Like I have like one of my Mothership palettes here, which isn't really in my Shop My Stash, but I just pulled it out because I wanted to use it. But then like this lip oil is in my Shop My Stash. This Sigma blush is in my Shop My Stash. So is the Patrick Ta. So this little basket is literally like my makeup basket, and it just sits in the first drawer to my left. So that just kind of helps keep me organized, because I think if I just had everything, like all the blushes in one drawer, I wouldn't even remember which ones I was trying to pan or whatever. So wow, I'm really enjoying this eye look so far. These mattes were very easy to work with. I'm gonna go with this shade, Fresh Pick. Yeah, I got this palette. They had 50% off of some of their palettes on Unearthly Cosmetics. And I'd mentioned that I had wanted to try this brand. So I thought, hey, perfect opportunity. Let's try it out. Something else that I do to just make things easy for myself is, you know, if something is not working out in a project, I'll just take it out of the project. If I feel like I'm not making the progress that I want, or I'm just not really enjoying the item that much, I'm not going to torture myself over it, and I'll just take something out of the project. I admit I don't do that much anymore because I can kind of plan ahead, but that is something definitely that I do. Something else that I do is, before deciding to pan something, is maybe have it in my Shop My Stash or Project 10 uses, just to get some use out of it and see how I feel about it. Like, oh, do I really want to use this item every single day or almost every day to try to finish it? Or to even see how much progress I can make. Because if it's something that progress isn't happening very easily on, you know, then again, I can kind of see from there. So yeah, that really helps me out also. Something else that I do with my Shop My Stash is I try to adjust it for what's in my project pans and how my project pans are going. So for example, if I've got a ton of lip products that I'm trying to pan and completely use up, then I won't put any in my Shop My Stash. And my Shop My Stash, what I do is just color cosmetics in that, like eyeshadow palettes, blush, highlighter, lip products, that sort of thing. Because foundations, concealers, I mostly use what's in project pans. And then of course there's days where I'll use like foundations and stuff that, you know, are not in my project pan, but I'll do that here and there because I don't want to neglect stuff, and I don't want to put too much pressure on myself where I just feel like I can only use these items, because I don't want everything else to just go bad, you know. I am on a low buy, so I'm trying to control my purchases, but you know, I still want to try new stuff and enjoy everything I have. I don't want to just only do project panning and using those items. Something else that's really important is kind of staying flexible with it. I used to put a time frame on my Shop My Stash and be like, oh, I've only got 2 weeks to use this stuff and then I have to change it. Now, you may have noticed if you regularly watch my videos that sometimes I'll do 2 Shop My Stash videos a month, but sometimes I'll only do 1 because if I feel like I haven't had enough time with those items, I'll just give myself more time. It's fine. Like, I don't need to put too much pressure. For me, I love makeup. Makeup is fun. And so if I am not enjoying myself using makeup, if I'm not having fun, then there's no point because it's truly something I am like passionate about. I love makeup. It's just so creative and fun for me. So I want to make sure that I'm having fun with my products. That's really what's important to me. And I recently updated my Finish 10 in 2022 project pan. And in that update, I admit I was a little disappointed because I did that same project actually 2 years before. This is my 3rd time doing that project where I work year long on some difficult powder makeup products. And the last 2 years, by this point, halfway through the year, I had already finished at least a couple of things. And so far in that project this year, I've only finished 1 powder makeup product. I finished a powder, but I still haven't finished bronzers, blushes, or highlighters. So I was feeling like disappointed in that, but you know what? That's okay. I'm still making progress on those items, and I definitely don't want to overuse things, like put way too much on or something ridiculous like that. You know, I just want to have fun with my makeup, and if I'm not finishing as many products, then you know what? It's okay. I'm not gonna obsess over that. And I had asked you guys actually in that video because I'm working on 2 different blushes and 2 different highlighters on whether I should just kind of focus on 1 versus working on 2 of each. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. I'm going to kind of see how things go and how I feel in the next couple of weeks. So we'll see what I end up deciding for that. And I don't want to stress myself out or just something ridiculous like that. I want to be having fun because I love playing with makeup. I really do. Even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would still like do fun, colorful looks and try new products and be excited about it. Like, I'm just kind of sharing on YouTube my love for makeup that normally I would just be sharing with myself because I don't know that many people in real life who are really that into beauty products. So that's why, you know, I like doing this. And I'm so glad that I discovered the Project Pan community because before that, I was definitely someone who was kind of like hoarding makeup, and I was afraid to use my higher end products. I was kind of saving them for special occasions, which really, I just don't think that makes sense anymore because makeup expires. So it's like, if I don't use it, it's gonna go bad. So if I'm spending the money on it, I need to be using those products. So that's what I try to do now. I am not trying to save anything for special occasions. That's just my thinking now. I don't want to let my products sit around going bad. And something else I don't want to do is declutter just to declutter and then end up buying more stuff, because that is not good. So I declutter stuff if I'm truly like not going to be using it anymore. But if I still like the product, I'm going to keep it. Unless, of course, it's breaking me out or something like that. And when I do feel like something has expired, I definitely let it go. I'm not going to risk like breaking out or getting some terrible skin reaction, anything like that. I do not think that's worth it at all. So these are just kind of my philosophies on project panning and shopping my stash. And yeah, I just don't want to put too much pressure on myself. If I don't finish as many items as I wish I did, then, you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna like be super upset about it or something like that. I just think progress is progress, and I want to be having fun with my makeup and just really enjoying it, honestly. I am using one of the new Sydney Grace brushes that I bought. I've been in the process of testing these out, but I think I want to do a video where because this video I'm more talking about other stuff. I want to do a video where I talk about the brushes more in depth, but I am really enjoying this one. It's like a really nice tapered brush. So yeah, if you want me to go more in depth on the Sydney Grace brushes, I could do that in a future video. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. This is the final look, and I am loving this eyeshadow. Wow, I don't normally do first impressions on my channel, but I'm pretty impressed with this palette so far. Like I said, I got it 50% off. I don't know if they're still having their sale, but anyway, I'll do more looks and then I will update on that. But yeah, so final thoughts for this video. I try to keep myself organized so I know exactly what I'm panning and what's in my shop, my stash, and I kind of keep those things separated. Oh, I also didn't mention eyeshadow palettes. I have envelope holders that I put the palettes out that I want to use right now. So I keep about 10 palettes out on my vanity, and those are the ones that I'm focusing on in my shop, my stash, or with usage goals, like for my project 100 uses or project 10 uses. And then I'll rotate those out, put them back in the drawers, and put out new ones for when I change that up. So having things out and visible, writing down my items that I'm project panning, and then my computer spreadsheet, keeping track of my inventory closely, my purchases, my empties. I do that pretty regularly, and that helps me, honestly. Like without the notebook and the spreadsheet, I wouldn't be able to do it. Also, if I had, in the past, I did have a smaller vanity, and I had to, like when we lived in an apartment before we bought this house, I had to keep some of my makeup stored in my closet, and that definitely made it harder for me. I would try to pull things out, but I just felt my organization was not as good then. So I do admit that having my vanity set up the way that it is really does help me in my project pans and staying organized. So that is it for this video. Let us know what you think. What do you do to keep yourself organized on your project pans, shop my stash, all of that? I just think it's fun to do, and the only reason I even do all this is because I want to get my money's worth out of my makeup. I love makeup. It is fun. It's an artistic expression for me, and it's just something that I'm passionate about. So products that I used will be listed down below. Check out the Project Pan playlist and the Shop My Stash playlist for those videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.